Everybody, the debate is over about whether it's going to be hard or not to get these Anti-Venom Milestones done. Okay? We did this normal spreadsheet stuff. We had a couple different aspects of it. Long and short of it is, you're still going to need to blitz a lot. So, and we're going to talk about how much you need to freak out about your alliance and getting all those different raids and all that kind of stuff. Talk about how many orbs you need to open, all that. You know, I'll go through it a little bit in detail, but, you know, I'll get you to a summary too. But as you probably already know, it's going to mean a lot of blitzing. So let's go get into the lovely, lovely math detail.
Bring me WolverThor!
Let's see where to put my body for this. All right, well, to start, let's just show the sections that I have. So right up here, I've got just the biggest section that just, this shows the Night Terror milestones. This is basically for opening the orbs to get you the most amount of shards. It's obviously got a number of different things within each milestone as well, but I think the big winner is the number of shards for Anti-Venom, which totals to 68. And then there's different math in there to get to the blitzing and how many, all these different fragments, blah, blah, blah. We'll go through that in a second. Ultimately, this is the orb opening, you know, milestone. Then just below that, we've got the raid milestone section where we're looking at what it takes to go through that section. And I'll talk about, you know, how hard that is, what you need to focus on as an alliance, all that type of thing. And then at the very bottom, we've got the daily, and I'll zoom in, don't worry about, we've got the daily Blitz and Arena milestone, which is really easy, but I'll show it to you just for fun. Okay, so we've got these three different sections. One of them's daily, the other two are throughout the duration that have to do with the orbs, and then the one with the alliance. So first, you know, the one with the orbs really gets built in by the other two, so I'm going to start there first. Okay, we're going to start with the alliance raids and the specific daily milestones. All right, so the Dream Warriors. This is the Daily Blitz and Arena one. I'm doing this one first because, frankly, it's the easiest. You are going to get a number of shards from this each day, 4. You know, the duration of this event is actually 10 days, which we know. So how many shards you're going to get if you finish that? It's a total of 40 shards, which isn't too bad. And based on some other stuff that I'd seen before, I was worried that this one was 40 shards short. This is how it makes it up. So they still have the same amount of shards that you get from the other milestones. If anybody out there was talking about it, you don't need to worry about it. The shards are still the same. So you get all these other little things to these milestones. Not going to focus on that. Again, you got the shard total multiplied by the 10 days, different amount of points, total frags awarded. Ultimately, what you get through this is that you get 0.675 orbs per. 10 days, you get 6.75 frags. It's really all you need to know about this. It's super easy. You know, you basically get 505 points per run outside of the first one. So you need to do 3 to 4 blitz runs a day. That's not too bad. You'll be able to finish these. That's just blitz. I'm not even counting arena for that. So you probably do 2 to 3 blitz runs a day and get your 5 arena attacks and you're fine, which you should do anyway. That's it. Okay, 6.75 orbs for this throughout the duration of this. Okay. That's it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. It's really easy. Just do your blitzing, do your arenas. You should figure these out, or finish these, no problem. The next section here is the Lucid Dream milestones, which is the alliance raiding with masked capers. So this one, at first, I was a little worried about. It's kind of like, how hard is this going to be? Da da da. So you get 12 shards from this. It's over the course of the week. You know how many points needed, total frags awarded through. And then how many Fright Light orbs that you'll get through this. Ultimately in this, you only get 5.25. So between the 5.25 and the 6.75, you get 12. Okay, so you get 12 orbs from these two milestones if you finish them. Before we get into that, that'll tie back to our orb opening event, which well, I'll get to in a second. So the real point of this one is, well, how many of my raids do I need to focus mass capers on? What do I need to do here, right? So what I did is I got this column here. All right, we'll zoom in. Let me zoom in for you guys. I've got this column, raid battles required, assuming 5 masked capers. What it is you've got this formula here where you're talking about specifically total points needed divided by the total points per raid battle. Okay, that's it. So it's just telling you as you go through here how many you need. And ultimately you need 2,514 raid battles to get done with this thing. Overall, that's what you need, assuming, again, 5 mask capers on a tune. Now, that could vary a little bit, so you gotta, understand that. I will say for Ultimus 7, just use your symbiotes. For the Alpha, well, you've got some fluctuations that we'll talk about in a second, but ultimately, what you're looking at here is a lot of alliances are and I didn't put Ultimus 7.5 versus 7.4, I'm just putting the percentages because most alliances are going to drop down to get to an Ultimus that they can probably get, 70, 80, 90, or 100% on. So when you're looking at an Ultimus 7, I'm looking at, well, even if you want to look at 60%, how many runs is it going to take for 60%? Well, you've only got 10 days to do this event. Okay, so if you're looking here, it's like, all right, well, I need 23 60% runs. So you really need to make sure that, and you don't have time for that, okay? So if you need 23, it's like, well, the most I can get is 10, which means, I'll tell you in a second how many alpha that means. And I'll actually just highlight that green in case you're like, well, we really want to do 60%. What's that mean? I'll highlight that one right there and come back to it. So what I did here is I focused on the 90 or 91% because that was the nodes that was shown on a chart, and the Ultimus 100%. So knowing that this thing's essentially, 10 days, I highlighted the 10 section here. So I'm like, okay, so in 10 days, I said I could run this many. So it's like in Ultimus 7, 91% runs, I can get those 10 runs, which means I will get that many raid battles finished. I'll get 1,730 essentially. All right, well, that doesn't finish the milestones. I've still got these milestones left, which means I need to get those from another raid, Alpha 4, right? So Alpha 4 is going for the next 10 days. I did the same thing with Ultimus 100. The numbers are essentially the same between 91% and 100, so I'm just going to stick with the 91% for now in case somebody wants to stay on Ultimus 7.5 and they're running that 90% plus mark on that raid, but not 100% in it. So you're right here. So this is where you're at. This is your sweet spot, okay? Your 91% run for Ultimus 7. You've got essentially 1,730 raid battles in the book, but you need alpha. So what I've got here is this column N, right? This is the column I'm looking at. Remaining raid battles required based on, it says 100% Alt 7 done, but it's the same as 91. The numbers are the exact same, okay? So what I've got here, and you can see runs required if you want to second guess it here, they're pretty much the same. But if you want to do your 100%, fine, let's focus on the 100%. So the 10 is right here, and so I need all remaining raid battles required. I need 676 raid battles required. What I did with that is I've done this many, or let's actually go to the orange part of this. This is your total number of raid battles needed, okay? Then you minus the number here, the number that you've done, the Ultimus 7 100% raids that you've done, times H390, which is the nodes in Ultimus 7. So you're doing how many you've done, 10.2 times 180, and that gives you a point total, or a raid battle total, and you're subtracting that total from how many you need. So 2,514, which is what you need, minus what you've done. Okay, you follow me there? I know I might have lost you a little bit. Essentially, I'm taking the amount, this amount here, this 2,513.5, minus what I've done. That means this whole column is remaining raid battles required to finish this event. I need 675. Okay, that's what I need at this point. So if you're looking here, what I did again is I have another column off to the side, Alpha 4, 100% runs required. Now I minus 3 globals, and I'm going to talk about the characters you need in just a second, but the global lane seems to be the one where you might not be able to use mass capers at the end, and I'll show you the teams for that in a second. There's filters, in-game, and MSF.GG, where you can filter to figure this out. And looking at it, it looked like the global last 3 nodes looked like that could get complicated. So I just took those last 3 global nodes out and just, you know what? I'm not going to count those. Let's just make it simple. So what this is doing is, again, how many Alpha 4 100% runs you need to be able to finish, depending wherever you're at. Okay, so if you're not here, if you don't finish 10 Ultimate 7 and you need 7, well, that means you need 6. I mean, it goes side by side. And this spreadsheet is going to be in the link below. It's my general shared WolverThor spreadsheet that anybody can go check out. You just got to find where they line up. So I highlighted here because I'm assuming people are going to run Ultimates every single day at 100% if they drop down. Or, you know, again, I'll come back to the 60% in a second. Ultimately, if you do 10 of these, if you do 10 Ultimate 7 100%, you need 3.5 Alpha 4 runs. That's super, super, super easy. So let's jump back to the 60 that I had. So it's like, okay, well, if I do Ultimate 7 at 60% 10 times, that means I need Alpha 4 100% for 7.5 times or 8 times. So what that tells you is that you can stay in whatever Ultimates you're running if you're doing 60% and do it 10 days. You know what? If you want to do, if you're only doing 30%, say you're on 7.5 and you're only do 30%, it's 10-10. So to me, it seems like Scopely actually thought about anybody running Ultimate 7 at 30%. If you can finish Ultimate 7 30% with all mass caper tunes, then you've got to do Alpha 4 100% 10 times 10.3 with all mass caper tunes minus the final 3 global. So that's kind of how that math works if you're going to remember anything. And again, you just got to find where you're at, whatever column, pick it, find how many times you need to run Alpha 4. Ultimately, the way I look at this is your alliance doesn't need to drop down major as long as you find the Alpha 4 sweet spot and everybody does their part. And that's the key part, is everybody's got to do their part. If you got little people here and there, the math on that gets stupid. So everyone's got to play the role. 5 mass caper characters, totally for Ultimate 7. That's symbiotes all day long. And you know what? If you don't have Scream built up, or if you don't have Anti-Venom, use Black Bolt. Use Captain Marvel. There are plenty of mass capers that are capable in Ultimate 7 for, you know, this is Alliance benefit. So do that, right? And then again, this little chart down here is just simply showing, you know, the math, like I said, how many nodes were in each Ultimates run and the points you could get in each battle. So all of this spills up to the top on this giant spot where it's like the opening the orbs. In this part, if you've ever watched any of my videos for any of these orbs, it's the same thing. I've got all the milestones on the left, how many shards it awards, how many points it needs, how many orbs are required to meet that milestone, how many frags that you need for those orbs, because it's just basically times 2,000. And then I look at the blitzes. And then you've got a certain number of blitzes here. So I've got the She-Hulk one, which you get 4,000 frags for. Sunday orbs, we're assuming you don't get any. And then you've got 2 character blitzes next week, which we're assuming you get 4,000 in each of those as well. So you get a total of 12,000 frags from the Blitz Awards, which gives you an adjusted Fright Light Orb frag required total. So you ultimately are looking at, well, okay, what part of this, how many, and again, you've got the Fright Light Orb fragments required for that many orbs. You got to figure it out, right? Now, why do I've got this green section, or this section here green? The reason is because you need 62.2 total orbs to get to this final 13. Its total points is 41,400. So you take that 41,400, you basically you divide it by the E323, which is the 666 per orb, and that's how you figure out, you know, how many basically you need to get that many points. Okay, and then again times the 2 right? So 62.2. So I've got, you know, like I mentioned earlier, you get 12 orbs from the other milestone events. Well, that puts you at 60. That basically puts you at 50. So it puts you in this green range between the 49 and the 53. So you need to be in this you know, this section of getting your blitz wins, right? So what I mean by that is the number of blitz wins needed. You're like, well, wait a minute, how do you know that, right? So it's like you got this adjusted fright light org frag segment here, this column L. That is simply what you need over here, fright light orbs, from minus what you get from the blitz milestones, essentially. And then what this is the key part here, is like this is always the unknown, right? The number of blitz wins needed. It's basically, so I know I need that adjusted number of frags, but what's that thing I'm divided by? It's L402. So you scroll down here all the way to L402. It's this section. All right, so this is the part that I'm still using the numbers I used on all the other ones on these, where you're basically expecting to get 91.71 frags on average. Okay, it was based on Verdronius did these numbers for Cyclops way back in the day. No one really knows what they are, but that's what it is. So if you want to see what it's at, that's where it is. Based on these averages, that's what we expect to get. 50 at 56%, 100 at 30, da-da-da-da. You get it. So it's right there. Anything's wrong, it's based on that, but it's the 91.71 adjusted weight there that tells you you need to get that many specific fragments. You need 1,035 blitz wins over the course of this event, okay? That's what you need. All right, so this then, after you get all this frags and number of blitz wins needed, then you come over here to this other section. The number of blitz wins needed a day as of, so it's 10/22, October 22nd. That means we've got about 10 days left. I've got this other section where it's, you know, I potentially do more days left as we go on, if we get compensation, all these different things that kind of pop up, and I'll reassess as days go on. But as of now, 10/22, this column right here, all right, we're looking at this one, 10 days left, and essentially the formula is simple, where it's just looking at number of blitz wins needed divided by days left, right? So, and it goes like that all the way down. So then we're down here and we're looking at these sections that I mentioned before. We need to get to mile 27, 28 for these different number of frags that I've got here. These from right there, right? And these number of blitz wins overall the course. So it's you're looking at 94 to 103 blitz wins per day. Per day. That's what you need, okay? So 10/22, as of 22. All right, so then you always come down here and we've got the section that we've got rotations wins needed per day. If you're awake for 16 hours, you got the 2-hour blitz cooldown. I just left it at 2. There was some chat last time. Oh, wait, why, you know, I did it a little bit different. It's like, yeah, I'll just leave it at 2 to keep it simple. Means you got a potential of 8 rotations a day. How many wins you need per rotation is essentially 13, which is not too bad. So you could easily go up and then drop back down if you want. I have a feeling that a lot of people with She-Hulk probably won't, especially She-Hulk Red stars, even though she's not that great of a character. 13 wins per rotation, super easy. Even if you're blitzing at 8.3 or tier 8, you can get that no problem. So you can, if you do, you know, 13, you know, 8 rotations a day, 13 wins, and you can cut down those rotations if you get more wins, right? The math moves up and down with that. It's a balance, right? You take a little bit here, this one comes up. So 13 wins per rotation. That's not, that in itself is not bad if you're willing to do 8 rotations a day, which is a ton. So when you look at this, again, like recapping, we've got the one down here, which is on daily. That's easy, no problem. You guys should be, if you do any effort at all, where it's 3 to 4 blitzes a day plus arena, 2 to 3 blitzes a day, runs a day, you've got that, no problem. Your alliance milestones here, I don't see this as being very difficult. Even if you're looking at, you know, Ultimate 7 at 30%, 10 days again, you're only looking at Alpha 400% at 10. So, and again, if you can do those 3 globals with all mass capers, you're good. It's equalized across the board, and that's probably what their baseline was. It would be the smart way to do it. And then it just leaves you up here with, you know, needing to get, you know, 12 less orbs because you've got them from the other milestones to get in this general range. And that general range tells you that you need to get 940 to 1,035 blitz wins left, which is 94 to 103 blitz wins a day. And that means that you've got to run 8 rotations at 13. If you want to cut that down, let's say you want to run, say you only want to do 4 times. All right, well then now you've got to do 26 wins. All right, that's the way it'll work. It's that simple. Oh, not 58. Yeah, you can't do that. You know, the closer that gets to the 8, you know, that's how that kind of shakes out. So, what do you think? Makes sense? Hope you. you know, I know a lot of alliances are adjusting how they're approaching their raids, and I don't necessarily think you have to too hard. Don't overthink it. You know, don't cost yourself a bunch of T4s. If you've got everybody, no, if not everybody's playing, and you need to make sure because you've got weaker characters, then yeah, you got to adjust. So hopefully this helps you guys. I'll try to throw these videos out there every once in a while just to help people try to figure out how much effort they want to put in, how they coordinate with their alliances, all that kind of thing. It was tough for me to, I wanted to kind of do one for the alliance milestones earlier, but I just didn't know how long the duration of the event was, so I couldn't put it out. I was thinking about doing a speculating. I'm like, you know what? Let's just wait and do it all at once. So here it is. Again, if you want to come chat about this, if you've got any comments, if you see that I missed something, please comments below or come to the Discord, which is in the link, or is in the description. The link to the Discord is in the description below. You can come chat however you want. If you want to say hey, thanks, or you know, hey, you're an idiot, you don't have no idea what you're talking about, you won't be the first. But hopefully this is helpful. I'm trying to give this to people so it's helpful and all that kind of stuff. So appreciate you stopping by. Hammer down on that like button, click the notification bell, share with your alliance mates. What else we got? Notification bell, subscription buttons, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandmas, grandpas. I'm all over the place. I'm jumping between topics. Can you follow? Like I said, I was watching a debate. Can't help it. So anyway, I appreciate you stopping by. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.